Hi, this is Dr. Hari, head of the Department of STEM, Gotouniversity team. Today, we are going to discuss in detail about the principle of inheritance, second half of the chapter, that is pleiotropism. In the last class, we discussed about polygenic inheritance. We discussed about the Mendel's law of dominance. Mendel's law of dominance. Again, back. Hi, all of you. Dr. Hari Prasad, head of the Department of STEM, Gotouniversity team. We are discussing the second half of this chapter, Principle of Inheritance. Okay, in this we are going to start with the first subtopic is Principle of Inheritance. That is nothing but pleiotropism we are going to discuss. Last class we discussed about polygenic inheritance. We discussed about the monohybrid cross. We discussed about dihybrid cross. We discussed about the Mendel's different various laws we discussed, right? So now we are going to discuss in detail about the pleiotropism. What do you mean about pleiotropism or pleiotropy? Many technical terms they will ask with specific reference to the multiple impact of a single allele. For example, I'm a allele. The A allele along with the B allele will give different impact. A allele along with the C allele will give the different impact. A allele along with the D allele will give the different impact. A allele along with the E allele will give the different impact. So A allele with B allele will give the different impact. So the multiple impact of a allele, okay, for important understanding of the pleiotropism, I given this as an example, right? So this this pleiotropism concept, whatever we are discussing now, we need to discuss with multiple examples. Then we'll understand furthermore in detail. As I already told you a number of times, the pleiotropism is a genetic phenomena. Okay, it's a genetic phenomena. It's not a genetic disorder. Many students are keeping in the mind that it is a genetic disorder like this. They are keeping. It is not exactly correct. It is a genetic phenomena, right? So in most of the instance, in most of the cases, it brings positive impact. In few important area, we can find out certain errors also. In the sense, for example, the multiple impact of a defective allele definitely will bring a lot of issues. So pleiotropism, negative, pleiotropism, positive. So positive pleiotropism denotes bringing the normal character, bringing the desirable character, bringing the superficial character like this. We are not saying bringing the superior breed character, bringing the classic characters. So for that, the pleiotropism is executed in most of the animals and plants for getting the desirable variety by genetic modification, right? So again, back I'm repeating, keep your mind calmly and understand the message. Pleiotropism, multiple impact of a single allele, okay, with a different type of other alleles, right? Second information is, okay, a critical regulatory gene controls or influences multiple trait in an organism. Multiple trait or character. The other name of the trait is also called as character, right? So the character or the trait is determined by a allele. The character or trait is determined by a allele, right? So what we need to understand is basically the trait or a character determined only by a specific set of allele or by different set of alleles also, we need to take it for consideration. Okay, and then second category, the multiple impact of a single allele with a different allele that we already narrated for you, right? So one by one we'll discuss in detail so that what we'll understand. Phenylketonuria picture why we kept here. Why? Because the allele responsible for phenylketonuria is because of the defective pleiotropism exhibiting allele. So in most of the cases, we are observing positive pleiotropism. In a few cases, we are observing negative pleiotropism also. For that, we give the example phenylketonuria. We know very well phenylketonuria patient are having the mental retardation. They are not excreting the phenylalanine properly. They are not excreting the tyrosine properly. So the phenylalanine is becoming some other component instead of becoming tyrosine and getting excreted out of the body. This denotes phenylketonuria. This phenylketonuria is because of the negative pleiotrophism, because of the defective single allele bringing the various character. Okay, various character. That is the message we need to understand, right? So now in the pleiotrophism itself, when we are going for the sickle cell anemia, we all know very well in sickle cell anemia the hemoglobin is defective. Okay, RBC is defective. The defective hemoglobin is responsible for not performing the gaseous transport in the bloodstream. So this defective hemoglobin is because of the defective allele. The defective allele brought the sickle shape RBC. Can you see the sickle shape RBC? Instead of biconcave shape RBC, we are having sickle shape RBC. The sickle shape RBC, because of the defective hemoglobin, is not in a position to carry the oxygen and carbon dioxide properly. So sickle shape RBC, instead of defective hemoglobin, okay, here it is not in a position to carry the oxygen and carbon dioxide properly. That means what? In this particular sickle shape RBC will go for quick death. So that the RBC will come down in its volume. That particular condition we are calling as anemia, which is because of the sickle shape RBC. There is a sickle cell anemia. Again, back I'm repeating, sickle cell anemia is because of the reduction in the RBC count. The reduction in the RBC count is because of the sickle shape RBC. The sickle shape RBC is because of the defective hemoglobin. Defective hemoglobin is because of the defective allele. Defective allele. The same concept we can narrate in the phenylketonuria. In the phenylketonuria, this PAH denotes phenylalanine hydroxylase. We all know very well phenylalanine hydroxylase enzyme is an enzyme which is very, very important for the conversion of the phenylalanine to tyrosine, which is not working properly in the phenylketonuria patient. In phenylketonuria patient, hydroxylase enzyme is not working properly. If the hydroxylase enzyme is not working properly, what will happen is the phenylalanine get accumulated at the maximal level, and then it becomes some other component like phenyl ketones. We used to call it phenyl ketones. Phenyl ketone is a molecule which is formed from the phenylalanine, okay, instead of becoming tyrosine. So that what will happen is this phenyl ketone will go up in the bloodstream and causes a lot of severe consequences. So to avoid this issue, they will not allow you to take the phenylalanine rich diet if you have these genetic disorders, number one. And number two, you will be not having a proper amount of tyrosine hormone. Because of that, thyroid hormone level will come down. For making the thyroid hormone, we need tyrosine. For making the tyrosine, I require phenylalanine. But phenylalanine is not becoming tyrosine. Why? Because this hydroxylase is having an issue in this particular genetic disorder, phenylketonuria. The genetic disease, phenylketonuria, is not making the proper quantity of tyrosine molecule. That is the condition we are observing in the case of phenylketonuria patient. So intellectual disability. Why? Because these phenylketones, there is a lot of difference between the phenylalanine and phenylketone. Okay, this phenylketone is formed from the phenylalanine. Okay, because of the defective hydroxylase enzyme, this phenylketone will accumulate in the neurons junction. Within one neuron, another neuron synapses is present. In the synapses, exactly what happens is this phenylketones accumulates. As a result, what happens? There is no proper nerve message transmission from one neuron to other neuron. Why? Because the neuron synapses or neural junction is interrupted by the phenylketones, right? We need to understand basically the phenylalanine amino acid is found in most of the protein food. That is the reason why we are not giving this protein rich in phenylalanine as a food to the phenylketonuria patient. So why you brought these two important disease in the pleiotrophism? Again, back I'm repeating, the allele responsible for the sickle cell anemia is having multiple impact factor with the other group of allele. For example, I am here. So with my student Abdul, I am singing Carnatic song. With my Mohan, I am singing the Western song. So I am with Nihas, I am singing the colloquial songs. So different songs I am singing with the different set of friends. In the same way, the allele A along with the B brings different expression, along with the C brings different expression, along with the D brings different expression. But if the A allele is getting corrupted, then what will happen? All the expressions are completely collapsed. That is the thing we are observing in the case of pleiotrophism. If it is coming under the genetic disorder category, if it is normal, there is no issue at all, right? So now we are coming for the next phase of explanation. Before going to the sex determination in human being, in pleiotrophism itself, we will solve certain questions for better understanding, right? So if you're talking about this particular place, can you see this? What is pleiotrophism? Inheritance of the multiple allele controlling one trait. Inheritance of a single allele with multiple allele. So single allele influencing multiple trait. Okay, here single allele influencing multiple trait. Okay, single gene. Okay, doing the multiple trait. That is the correct information, right? If you're talking about the pleiotrophism is a genetic phenomena where a single gene has an effect, okay, on multiple. So that is the concept we told you. The option C is the correct answer, right, for this particular question. So this question is taken from the NCERT textbook for your better understanding and for solving the NCERT exercise. Now we are moving to the next question. Again, like I'm saying to you, a single gene having multiple influences or various character. But that is not the case with all the alleles. 95% of the allele is assigned exclusively for only one character. Only in few particular allele cases, it is having the multiple impact efficiency by bringing the expression along with the other allele, right? So now I'm coming for the question number 2 explanation. In the question number 2, which of the following is an example for the pleiotrophism? So if you're talking about, we discussed so many: blood type, eye color, sickle cell anemia, flower color in roses. Okay, now only we discussed sickle cell anemia. Okay, what else? Other things we discussed? Okay, sickle cell anemia is a correct example for the pleiotrophism, right? So we need to bring the whatever we learned in the class, that we need to bring as an option, and we need to understand whether we are competent enough to say the answer or not. You need to understand basically most of the answers are having the similar type of explanation, but not getting fixed with the specific information. If you're talking about the blood type in human, the blood type in human is nothing but ABO blood group system. So that is having the multiple impact over the single character. No, this ABO is a multiple allelism, but not falling under pleiotrophism. Right? So if you're talking about the eye color in the human being, okay, eye color in the human being is mainly controlled by multiple alleles. Okay, flower color in the roses also controlled by multiple alleles. So all the things are coming for multiple, but not explaining the multiple trait. So the multiple trait, the word is exclusively for the sickle cell anemia. In the given option, we need to choose it, right? So now we are coming for the question number 3 explanation. Because the question number 3, okay, pleiotrophism, a single gene typically influences a single trait with multiple allelism, a single trait with no gene base, multiple trait with no genetic base. Like this, we given so many number of options for you, right? So in this case, what we need to understand. Any one of you can say the answer in this Q&A section. So no one told this information. So here, single gene affecting the multiple, single allele with multiple. Okay. So that is the concept. We need to choose it, right? This we already discussed in the session when we discussed before 10 minutes back, right? So now we are coming for the question number 4. Which term describes the genetic phenomena where a single gene has a different effect on different organ system? So different organ system, of course, okay, a single gene has different effect. Of course, pleiotrophism is the correct answer, right? So pleiotrophism is the correct answer, right? So multiple trait or organ system. So we need to choose the option A as a correct answer, right? So we discussed these many number of questions. Now we are coming for the related video. When you're having time, please see the video in your uh, Gotouniversity portal. Okay, and then we are going for the worked examples. In the worked examples, the way how we need to present, right? For example, discuss in detail about phenylketonuria. Like this, they asked me to write in the 5-mark question. So don't make big paragraphs. Write the concept with a lot of subheadings, okay, in a such a way the concerned paper evaluator will feel comfortable while giving the marks so that you will get maximum score. So be very careful when we are narrating this particular concept. After writing, you need to underline the important word. Phenylalanine hydroxylase is an enzyme which does the conversion of phenylalanine to tyrosine, right? So what we need to understand is basically, see, if I am teaching the same concept for the IB student, okay, I need to discuss the different terms used for phenylalanine hydroxylase. It is exactly called as phenylalanine 4 monooxygenase, phenylalanine 4 hydroxylase. Okay, like this, different terms are there. So whatever which is given in the case of CBSE textbook, we are not going behind that limit, right? And then we need to understand basically the enzymes which is involved in the phenylketonuria, which is defective, is hydroxylase enzyme. The name itself says hydroxylase enzyme which breaks the hydroxyl group. Okay, hydroxylase enzyme breaks the hydroxyl group is not given here. It's not given here, right? So phenylalanine hydroxylase enzyme, it breaks the hydroxyl group and brings the hydroxyl group to phenylalanine, and so the phenylalanine is becoming tyrosine. So the phenylalanine is becoming tyrosine, right? So we should be very careful. Hydroxyl group is represented as OH, right? It is taken from phenylalanine. It is not taken from phenylalanine. It is taken to the phenylalanine by this hydroxylase enzyme. Okay, that is the reason why we are saying this particular enzyme action as what? Particular enzyme action as hydroxylase activity, right? So now, if you're talking about this phenylketonuria patient or having mental disorder because of the accumulation of the over amount of phenylalanine, why? Because this enzyme is defective, right? So in this mental behavior sense, what happens exactly? They will be having the cognitive impairment, okay, developmental delays in the affected individuals, okay, dysfunction. So, dysfunction or absence of this enzyme will not allow them to talk properly, will not allow them to behave properly, will not allow them to do the activities properly, right? So now we are coming for the skin and the hair. In the skin and the hair, the phenylalanine accumulation brings a light skin color and hair pigmentation. So basically, what happens is in the CBSE board exam, the phenylalanine mimics which particular disorder? Which particular disorder? Melanism. Not exactly, a little bit. So melanism mimicking we are observing. And second thing is, if you're talking about the hypothyroidism, less thyroid hormone in this phenylalanine level is not having any type of issue in the hypothyroidism or less thyroid hormone level. There also skin color is becoming very less, in the sense we can say the skin color is lost. Okay, the skin color is not good in hypothyroidism patient, in phenylketonuria patient. So the skin and the hair color is getting disturbed because of this enzyme inactiveness. The genetic base is the two mutated allele. So what is the hidden meaning behind that two mutated allele? Okay, like this they are saying. And then second thing is recessive manner and autosomal. What is the hidden meaning of autosomal? Any one of you can say this answer. So if you're talking about the autosomal, the word, I can say only for the non-sex chromosome or somatic chromosome. So non-sex chromosome or somatic chromosome, or the chromosome having only the character for non-sex character. So somatic, again back I'm repeating, somatic character is also called as non-sex character. So this non-sex character or somatic character, which is not because of the, which is not Somatic character or non-sex character which is not because of the somatic chromosome alone. Like this we discussed in the yesterday's class. For example, here we saw in the yesterday's class that somatic character controlling allele is existing in the sex chromosome. That is a rare case, but in most of the cases, non-sex character controlling or somatic character controlling alleles are existing in the autosome only. Autosomal cell having a allele for non-sex character, right? So now this is the genetic basis. In this genetic basis, recessive condition they brought. Recessive condition means we need to understand homozygous. So homozygous, the word we brought for the recessive individual, okay, which is very aggressive in terms of negative genetic impact because of the two recessive alleles are participating. Two recessive alleles are participating in the homozygous condition and bringing the defective character. Now we are coming for the treatment. So here the treatment, of course, we are giving less phenylalanine diet. Phenylalanine diet means here we are saying the diet should not have phenylalanine. That diet we are giving as a medicinal food for the patient who are having this issue. We know very well the intellectual disabilities associated with this disorder. So intellectual disability, I don't know how to think, I don't know how to dream, I don't know how to arrive at one particular conclusion. These many number of issues are happening. I am very slow in behavior response. Okay, these many number of issues are happening because of this particular phenylketonuria issues, right? So now, if you're talking about the Marfan syndrome, which is the other example, this Marfan syndrome, which is not there in the CBSE textbook, then why you brought this information? Why? Because it is a similar type of syndrome like sickle cell anemia, like phenylketonuria. They will give this as a paragraph in the case study question, and they will ask you to arrive at one particular conclusion, right? So the Marfan syndrome, this is a pleiotropic effect. Okay, they will not ask discuss Marfan syndrome. They'll give this entire content as a case study question. Okay, why? Because it is exactly same like sickle cell anemia. It is exactly same like our phenylketonuria disease. So in this particular Marfan syndrome, what is the probability of getting the genetic disorder? Autosomal recessive disorder in homozygous condition. Like this, we need to say the answer, right? So this is the case study question. It is not the part of CBSE textbook. Okay, it is a part of case study question, right? So be very careful with this. And now, so we need to read the content properly and we need to say the answer very nicely, right? So now, in the case study question, we know very well examples, all the content we need to bring it as a shorthand, and then we need to say the answer based on the case studies question, right? So be very careful. Similar type of disease related questions, even though it is not there in the CBSE textbook, they can bring, but only in the case study, but not in the assertion reasoning, but not in the MCQ, but not in the subjective question. Only they can bring in the case study question alone, because it is similar to the other examples of the pleiotrophism. Are you getting my point? So this is one of the fantastic worked example. Now we are coming for the tips of the exam. In the case of tips of the exam, we know very well in the phenylketonuria patient, the multiple effect these genes have, understanding the multiple effect these genes have, right? So now, so the multiple effect which gene, a single gene is having, okay, there is an issue, okay, there is an issue, okay, in the phenylketonuria and Marfan syndrome like sickle cell anemia, right? So here we should be very careful when they are asking the multiple examples and explanation, right? That is one of the exam tips. Second exam tip is, okay, explaining how this mutation leads to the observed changes. The mutation happened where exactly? In the case of sickle cell anemia, the mutation happened in the case of the sixth amino acid. It should be specific. So in sickle cell anemia, hemoglobin is defective. Okay. RBC is defective. Okay. RBC is having irregular shape, sickle shape, accepted. Then what is a core point? The core point is the sixth amino acid, which is nothing but the what exactly? The sixth amino acid is in the sickle cell anemia patient. The sixth amino acid is valine. Okay, replaced by glutamic acid. That exact pinpoint information, the core essence of this particular information, if you're narrating, then only we'll get the excellent marks, right? So now we narrated this many number of messages for you in the example.